a Congreso de Latinos Unidos. Mi casa es su casa. So, hello and welcome to Congreso de Latinos Unidos. Our favorite quote, which is the philosophy of how we drive our work in the community, is my house is your house. So we're so happy to see so many faces. And I just want to warmly welcome you here. I just want to, for those of you who have not been to our campus before or have not had a chance to familiarize yourself with Congreso, I just wanted to share a few very quick things. One is that we are celebrating our 36th year. So we're not yet at our midlife crisis, but we're still young at heart. We are one of the top 25 Latino organizations in the nation, the only one in the Delaware Valley region, so we're very proud of that. I think what we're most proud of is we were recently recognized again as one of the top places to work, and we feel that's incredibly valuable speaking point to us because it's based on our staff, and not just because we think we're great, but our staff think we're great. We've been focused on education literacy in this community for a number of years, and we do that in a number of ways, and so it's so great to be here to kick off myPLACE, and I'm just so honored to be part of this project as well as all the staff who do the great work here. We focus on after-school, K-8 education, our E3 Center, and of course Harcum at Congreso that offers associates program, and now we can add myPLACE to that. So I'm very excited to be here. And to tell us more specifically about myPLACE, it's my distinct honor to introduce a very fierce woman in this community, Dr. Judith Rennie.
Muchas gracias, and that's it. That's all I can do. Thank you all for being here to be part of the launch of this tremendous project. And thank you so much, Cynthia and Congreso, for hosting us here in this very vibrant and very important center of education in North Philadelphia. So to introduce what this is all about, we have a wonderful video. Cue. Look at the person standing next to you at the bus stop. If you're functioning well as an adult and you have a good job, chances are the person next to you is not. 1 out of 2 adults in the city of Philadelphia is not educated enough to get a good job and support their family and contribute back to the society. This is serious.
We had this huge issue where employers were struggling to find workers, and we had all kinds of people organized in the labor market who weren't able to connect to employment in any kind of meaningful way.
I'm tired of being looked at differently. Tired of being turned down from jobs because I had no GED. You know, being too scared to apply because I know that's somewhere along on the application that's going to be a part of the questions. And I didn't have the right answer for them, so I had to just take whatever came.
The Mayor's Commission on Literacy is dedicated to raising the quality and quantity of adult learning in the city of Philadelphia. Mayor Nutter gave us a special charge because he knows that education is the key to fighting poverty in the city of Philadelphia.
That's what it really is about. It's taking care of your family and taking care of yourself. And you need to have a job to do that.
We said, well, what would happen if Philadelphia achieved the education levels of the counties around us? What would happen to our economy? So, you know, if 16,000 more people completed an associate's degree and 32,000 more people graduated high school, these are not unachievable numbers. And we found that our economy would grow by 10%. That's a huge boost.
I'm on the right track. I needed that nursing degree, and I have it.
I'm able to go back to school now. I'm trying to pursue behavioral health technician.
We are proud of what we're doing in terms of our key spots. We're proud of what we're doing in terms of raising the visibility and pulling in corporate Philadelphia. And we're proud of what we're doing really in terms of human beings, in terms of building better people and a better place for us all to live. You know, if Philadelphia invests in this, and they are, it's a city that's going to shine, truly.
I think so many of us feel a responsibility to reach back and pull people back up to where we are. And so as a community, we can do that, and very easily by becoming a mentor or by finding people around in their own communities, whether it's in the families or in their neighborhoods, who need help, and to inform them about the resources that are available to them through the Mayor's Commission on Literacy.
Invest in yourself, invest in education is the best way to achieve your goal here. In America, education is the way to go.
It's never too late to invest in your education. It's never too late for that.
An investment of only $5,000 that qualifies one adult for a good job will return $6,750 to the city and state in tax revenues and public expense benefits each year. When we invest in just one adult, they're going to provide so many returns on that investment. Think about it. More spending at local businesses, healthier, stable families, and strong, safe neighborhoods. Reduced dependency on public assistance and social services. Kids will have more support at home with schoolwork. And job growth and economic development will be stimulated for the entire region. Investing in adult education pays. Invest today.
We're incredibly proud to introduce one of our superstars to you today. Brian Davis is here with us. Would you rise and... And is Sheila Williams-Brown here too? Are you here, Sheila, or Ricardo Stott? No, but Brian, this is who it's all about, these wonderful, dedicated people who have plugged away and come back to learning. And the wonderful, wonderful many, many people here in this room and all over the city who have helped them to get their education going and to get their lives going. I also want to recognize some other very important people who are here in the room, and especially members of the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, especially the chair of the commission, Leslie Stiles, who we're going to hear from later on in the program, and Lorraine Ballard-Morrill, who not only was in the video, but is also on some PSAs that are going to be broadcast from Clear Channel and related stations for the next couple of days. And we're always, next couple of weeks, we're also hoping that some other members of the commission would be with us. I think they are looking for a parking space, and when they come, I'll recognize them too. Some other people that are here with us that help make this possible. Lisa Farnan from IBM. The IBM has been a tremendous partner in providing software for the emerging reader called Reading Companion, and that's been a very important part of this work. And there I see Carla Gaskin, another one of our commission members. Would you just give us a nod and a wave? Also here today are some representatives of Instructure. That's a company whose software we're using for the learning management system that we'll be showing you a little bit later. Mark Blosel and Kent Besaw are here from Instructure, and they're excited about what we're doing with this software. KeySpot is a major part of this because KeySpot is where our learners are going to be able to go to do some of their studying online. And we've got Maria Walker here and Andy Stutzman. And from the KeySpot Network, we've got Kevin Cafferty and Robert Nelson from OIC. Thank you for coming. And our major, major, major partner is the Philadelphia Works Incorporated. And Meg Shope-Coppell, Senior Vice President for Research, Policy, and Innovation, is here with us today. Thank you, Meg, for everything that we do together. I'm so excited to work with you. So I want to give you some numbers about what the Commission has done. For the last 2 years, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy has had 6,209 people who have called us or emailed us for help, and we've referred those people to 115 agencies around the city of Philadelphia, only 6 of which have funding from the state of Pennsylvania. So I don't know how the rest of you 109 are managing to survive, but God bless you that you are. 13 agencies have been funded in part by the Commission, and the Commission gets its funding primarily from the City of Philadelphia. So thank you, City Council. Thank you, Mayor Nutter. We've also trained over 400 volunteer literacy tutors, and over the last 2 years, 3,848 people participated in professional development programs that we've offered. So we've been doing a lot. So what's important about what we're doing here at myPLACE? We are out of the referral business. We just are not going to refer anymore. We're in the enrollment business. And that's a very, very different thing. Adult learners will no longer, when they call us, be sent to languish on waiting lists, waiting for classes. They're going to get enrolled the same day they call in an appointment for assessment, and as soon as they've done that, they're going to get their first class, and it's going to be an online class. All of them right away, no hanging out, no waiting, no worrying. They're going to improve their skills. They're going to plan their learning and plan their career, and they're going to get a boost up. They're going to do a job search. They're going to create a resume. They're going to get a lot of skills in that first course. And then as soon as they've done that, they will then be enrolled in the next best course for them. This is huge. We're creating a system for adult learning in Philadelphia for the first time in history, and actually, not just for Philadelphia, anywhere in the nation. In just the past 2 weeks, 201 learners have been enrolled in an appointment to create the electronic registration system and get their assessment. District 1199C Training and Upgrading Fund has enrolled 91 adults. Community Learning Center in West Philadelphia has enrolled 38, and Congresso here has enrolled 72. And already, fully 68 of those enrolled people have started or completed their first introductory course online, the course called Introduction to Adult Learning and Careers. Those numbers are kind of staggering. We were shooting for 500 by June, and at this rate, we'll hit the 500 mark in about the 3rd week of the program. That's the reality of the numbers in Philadelphia, and we are really, really proud that we're able to serve so many and hope to take this to scale. So thank you so much for being here to celebrate this important work. And I want to now introduce Jennifer Coburn, who is Assistant Director of Programs and is really the maker of all of this work for us. Jennifer.
Thank you, Judith. It is my pleasure to be here today. I am so proud to be here talking about myPLACE to you all and to have this grand opening. At the Commission, we are so passionate about this program, and we truly believe that it will help adults get back on track with education, get a family-sustaining job, and get their way to a meaningful career. I have the best job today because I am introducing our wonderful colleagues at the 3 myPLACE campuses. They have been our true collaborators since day 1 of this program. They are amazing, hardworking, talented, and just so dedicated to this idea of myPLACE. So without further ado, I wanted them to stand up and say their names, and if you could just reserve your applause to the end, that would be great. So we have Michael Thompson and Denise Brunker from Congreso de Latinos Unidos. We have Akeisha Washington and Nita Jalloway from Community Learning Center. And last but not least, we have Stephanie Webb and Arlene Johnson from District 1199C, Training and Upgrading Fund. These are the people that are making it happen for the learners, and they are so awesome. All right, guys, you can. Next, I would be totally remiss if I did not introduce some of our community partners that are here with us today. Each of these agencies is working very closely with us to help us not refer, but enroll learners into their classes at adult literacy agencies literally all across the city. We have about 13 of them, and we are every week working with more and more. So I'm going to say their names. I'm just going to read through the list, and folks that are here from these agencies, if you could just stand up when I say the name of your organization, that would be awesome. So we have Community College of Philadelphia. There he is, Don Butler. Yeah. Our E3 Power Centers. Family Solutions, there we go. Family Solutions CDC. Mercy Neighborhood Ministries. I know you guys are here. Programs Employing People. Philly OIC. We are. The School District of Philadelphia. Temple University. There we are. Tuscarora Intermediate Unit. They are our online partner, and they're located in central Pennsylvania, so they could not be with us today. Welcoming Center for New Pennsylvanians. Where are you guys? Yay! They work with our English language learners. West Park Cultural Center. There's Jordan. And again, last but not least, yes, Philly. All right. So I just wanted to, again, extend 1 million thank yous to our colleagues at the 3 myPLACE campuses and all of our community-based partners for just being so wonderful and dedicated, working with us through this pilot. After the pilot is over in just a few short months, we really hope to extend this program to even more adult literacy agencies across the city of Philadelphia. So for the next part of our program, I am pleased to call up Diane Inverso, who is Senior Director at the Mayor's Commission on Literacy. Thank you.
I get to welcome you all again. Thank you for all being here. My job today is to make sure I introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker traveled from, well, works in DC, but traveled from Annapolis to be here. And he's here to share a message from the Assistant Secretary, but I'll let him tell you what that message is. Let me tell you a little bit about Chris Coro. Chris Coro is the Education Program Specialist at the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education. And Chris, I didn't screw that up. Well, the joke of that is that they literally just changed the title of their division. So everybody's a little shaky about how to say the title. He's currently serving as the Deputy Director for the Division of Adult Education and Literacy. Among his duties, Dr. Coro oversees the implementation of various research and technical assistance activities in the areas of adult reading, adult English language learning, English literacy civics education, adult numeracy, career pathways, college readiness, and teacher quality. Now, I'm also a little proud to say that he's a former Pennsylvanian. So in the many years that I've been in the field, Chris was my colleague when he was here in Pennsylvania. So prior to joining the U.S. Department of Education, Dr. Coro directed a large comprehensive adult education program at Northampton Community College in eastern Pennsylvania. In addition to the experience in adult education leadership and professional development, he has 17 years of experience as a classroom teacher, 11 years as a high school modern language and social studies teacher, and 6 years as an adult ESL instructor. So I gave you a good sense of who you're going to be hearing from. So Chris, Dr. Coro, if you can join up here.
Thank you so much, Diane. It really is a pleasure today to be here on behalf of the Assistant Secretary, Brenda Dan Messier, who very much wanted to be here herself. And when I go back and tell her about the energy in the room and the student stories, she's going to be very jealous, yes. But unfortunately, she couldn't make it, and so I was luckily the one who drew the assignment. It was a no-brainer to send somebody up to this event when the Mayor's Commission on Literacy asked. We were familiar with their work. I knew them from a prior lifetime. And they recently helped us with some work that I'll say a little bit more about in just a few minutes. So the first thing I want to do on behalf of the Assistant Secretary is to thank you very much for inviting us to be a part of this incredible and important event. And just a quick little background in case you don't know, ours is the office in the U.S. Department of Education that administers the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act, among other things. So our office is the one that puts out the money to the states that then competes the money for local providers, and it is the largest federal program for adult education. I did want to take a few minutes to share a little bit of what I would call the policy lens that's driving a lot of our work right now. I think it's going to resonate with you. I think you'll hear echoes of it in the video that you saw before, and you'll see why we took particular interest in the work that you're doing here in Philadelphia and this event today. Last October, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development released what they call the Survey of Adult Skills. It's a direct assessment. It's an international assessment. It was conducted in 23 countries. The purpose is to assess cognitive and workplace skills and to provide information for policyholders, educators, public and private sectors to be able to create some baseline information and make some informed decisions. The survey was intended to be administered every 10 years, and this was the first year using that instrument, but it was psychometrically designed so that it would map backwards to two other instruments that had been administered in the United States, one in 2003 and one in 1992. Because it was an international survey that basically gave us some bottom line information that the U.S. did not do well compared to those 23 other countries, that in fact we had a very large group of adults that did not have very strong what we call foundation skills or basic skills in literacy, numeracy, and using technology to solve problems. Our office wanted to understand better what that looked like in the United States. So we commissioned the OECD to do a special report for us called Time to Reskill. And if you want to learn more about that or check the report out, you can just go to timetoreskill, one word, .org. And there's a variety of resources there that if you're a researcher or at the researcher level, and if you're like me, want the shorter, quick read for the bus or the train, we've got that version too, just to make sure that you're up to speed. One of the most striking findings, I already said that on the Survey of Adult Skills, the U.S. did not do well compared to those other 23 countries. An equally, if not more disturbing finding was that the situation for basic skills for adults in other countries has improved over time, or at least there's evidence that it's improved over time, whereas there's evidence that it has not improved over time in the United States. And I think if we take a second and think about that from the perspective of economic competitiveness, which from the national office, obviously, we have a broad workforce kind of a lens on it. If everybody else is moving forward and you're not advancing, the net result of that is you're falling behind. And so there are some serious implications for us as a country to retain our economic competitiveness. Our office, therefore, logically concluded that something serious needed to be done about that. And so we decided to launch an effort to create what right now, the name has evolved. It has different names. It's kind of like our office. The name changes, yes, except the goal for this effort is changing a little more frequently than the office. But right now we're looking at it as a national call to action plan. We're not calling it a federal plan. The goal for what we think needs to be developed in response to these challenges is much larger than what the federal office could do or various federal departments could do. We suspect that real solutions lie in joint efforts across the system from the federal level, the state level, regional, community, and particularly in initiatives like we're here to kind of celebrate today, where there's a cross-sector partnership from the community that has come together to address an issue that is very real to the community. So to get to this national call to action plan, we decided that we needed to talk to the smartest, most innovative people in the country, and we needed to make sure that because we wanted it to be this national kind of cross-sector plan that I described, and not something that came out of the federal office as some sort of a proclamation, that we needed to have what we would call engagement sessions. And we wanted to do this really, really fast because we thought that the time to act before the administration changes is now. So we really needed to be on an aggressive timeline. And we decided to do these face-to-face events, and our good friends at the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, just 2 weeks after we had this great idea, said yes, they would help us out. And in early December, they did in fact host one of these engagement events for us. The weather intervened. You've had quite a bit of weather in Philly this year. But that notwithstanding, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy helped us to co-sponsor a really strong kickoff event to this engagement process, and we're very grateful for that. We subsequently had 4 other large-scale events like that where we very purposefully selected thought leaders from the region to come to the meeting to help us to sort through sort of what I would call our working hypotheses about what needed to be in this plan. And we're in the process of wrapping that up and going through the various transcripts from all of the, we recorded them basically like court testimony. So we have volumes and volumes of information that we're going through right now with the goal of issuing our call to action plan by April. I wanted to share with you that report that, that I mentioned before, the one that our office convened, the Time to Reskill. It framed many of the recommendations that the OECD made, framed how we went about this engagement process. And some of those recommendations include take concerted effort to improve basic skills and tackle inequities affecting subpopulations with weaker skills. Another one was link efforts to improve basic skills to employability. Another one of the OECD recommendations was adapt to diversity. The population that needs skills enhancement is a very diverse population. So a one-size-fits-all sort of an approach is not likely to succeed. And yet another recommendation from the report was to build awareness of the implications of weak skills among adults and to link those with other social factors. In other words, it's not just about employment. Yes, it is about economic competitiveness, and yes, it is about employment, but it's about other things too. It's about individuals' health and well-being. It's about community health and well-being. It's about children in schools and families. It's and civic engagement and participation and volunteerism. It's much more than just employment. So when I sort of reflected back on those recommendations and I looked at the materials about myPLACE that the Mayor's Commission on Literacy shared with our office, it was obvious, it was very striking that this myPLACE initiative is very much an innovative, forward-thinking example of the kind of response that we need to see in this national call to action plan that our office is leading the development of. myPLACE, it's clearly seeking to take concerted action to improve basic skills. It's clearly seeking to tackle inequities affecting particular populations. It's clearly linking efforts to improve basic skills to employability. It's striving to harness the power of technology to acquire digital literacy. information gathering and problem solving skills. It reflects many of the evidence-based practices that we know can work, like digital skills training, contextualized instruction, integrated career and educational counseling. It's taking an on-demand approach. One of the things that came through in the report that our office commissioned is that essentially the upshot is 36 million adults in the U.S. probably need basic skills enhancement. Now that's to different levels, but some degree of basic skills enhancement. And 3 million of those 36 million, now this is nationwide, said they wished they could participate in a program. They're ready to get into a program today, but there are no room in the programs today, speaking nationwide. Currently, the federal system serves 2 million adults. There's another 3 million out there nationally that want to go today, and they're getting waitlisted. The design of myPLACE is attacking that very problem. So we very much want to see how your success unfolds and learn from it. Another thing that strikes us is that myPLACE is strategically based in local programs with proven track records for results. Happy anniversary, by the way, 36th anniversary. myPLACE is led by the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, which, as I mentioned, we had the pleasure of working hand in hand in just a few short months ago. Diane mentioned that we have a little bit of history. I will say that when I came to adult education in 1993, within 2 years, I was a classroom teacher, didn't get out much. Many of you know what it's like in adult education, in the back of the church, yes, just doing my classes and that's it. It didn't take long, though, for the Mayor's Commission on Literacy and the work that they were doing with professional development for the state as well as for the city of Philadelphia to kind of pop on the radar. And as a leader in that field, that's something that I've been aware of back to those days. And when I got into program administration at the community college, it was a group that I would try to elbow myself next to. So you really are leaders, and you're in good hands in terms of the champions kind of leading this effort. And of course, it also takes excellent visionary political leadership and political will on the part of the mayor and the mayor's office and his staff. So I'm going to stop there and just sort of wind up by saying this effort represents everything that we would like to see happening across the country, and we can't wait to learn from the good work that you're doing. And thank you very, very much for giving us the opportunity to be here today and to share in it. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and we look forward to continuing working with you. And please thank the Assistant Secretary as well. Right now, I'd like to bring up Leslie Stiles, who is our chair, as well as Iris Lozado. Iris has a proclamation that she's going to share from Councilwoman Maria Quinones Sanchez, and Leslie's going to receive it for us. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of the Councilwoman, I would like to extend her apologies for not being here. She's a city council doing her job. And, but it's, she wanted to extend her congratulations to Congreso and the staff for, being great partners for this new initiative. So, what I would like to do is read the citation. This citation is coming from City Council, and in celebration of the grand opening of Philadelphia's new myPLACE campuses and their plan to improve literacy and work readiness. Whereas the myPLACE initiative seeks to revolutionize, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. My accents get thicker as I speak. Revolutionize adult education and work readiness by leading the nation in using technology to provide a large-scale program that centralizes essential services to provide Philadelphians with the education they need. And whereas the word PLACE stands for Philadelphia Literacy and Adult Career Education, and myPLACE campuses will provide intake, assessment, and enrollment of adult learners in a variety of programs, including GED classes, adult basic education, and English as a second language, both in person and online. And whereas not only will these campuses address the enormous need for adult education classes, they will also provide support to learners with coaches, teachers, tutors, and assessment professionals that are available in person, in addition to course facilitators that provide support online. And whereas myPLACE campuses are located at Congreso de Latinos Unidos, the Community Learning Center and District 1199C Training and Upgrading Fund, and will also work with partner agencies to ensure that learners will be able to assess these critical education opportunities. And whereas on Thursday, February 20th, 2014, Mayor Nutter, Executive Director Judith Rainey, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, and the myPLACE initiative will celebrate these new campuses with a ribbon cutting and grand opening celebration at Congreso de Latinos Unidos. Therefore, by virtue of this citation, the Council of the City of Philadelphia hereby celebrates the grand opening of Philadelphia's new myPLACE campuses and their plan to improve literacy and work readiness. We look forward to the innovative and critical work undertaken by the myPLACE campuses to better serve the educational needs of Philadelphians.
I want to thank Councilwoman Quinones Sanchez for this. It's a wonderful honor. I see yet another commissioner from the Mayor's Commission on Literacy that came in, Irene Hannon from Citizens Bank. Do you want to stand and say hi? You know, I am so proud of chairing this commission and being part of this process. It is a need that we are just thrilled to be able to fill. I'd like to thank you for coming today, and I'd like to say a little bit about adult literacy. You know, it's far more than proficiency in reading, writing, and math. Chris alluded to that, and I would like to underline it. It's learning computer skills and the magic of technology. It means less public assistance, less crime and delinquency, less drug abuse, the ability to build relationships both in the workforce and in your personal lives. It's a more successful and solid family life. That's very important because literate parents foster children that continue that love of learning. You know, we're asked so often why our kids can't read. Well, we should be asked then, well, why can't their parents read? One influences the other. You know, we lead by example, and that's very, very important. Most strikingly, adult literacy translates into economic growth and prosperity for the city, putting our talented and promising adults back to work or to work, giving them the ability to get jobs and keep them. It's a win-win situation for everyone. We all prosper. I'd like to call adult literacy the economic engine of Philadelphia, because it is. myPLACE is going to take adult literacy to a whole new level with new competencies and bright new ideas, which are in some cases groundbreaking and might be a template for other states and certainly our state, across our state in other counties. But whatever it is, it's going to make it a whole lot easier for both the individuals and the city to achieve success. You know, on the commission's masthead, you will see, it's behind me, you'll see our logo. And on that logo is this wonderful L that, of course, stands for literacy. And from that, we've created pins. I'm wearing one. We gave them out today. I invite you to wear that pin with pride because it speaks to what we're all doing here. Not only the commission, but teachers, tutors, mentors, the mayor, and most importantly, the adult learners. What we're doing is making this city shine, and it's such a pleasure to be a part of that process. Thank you. Now, it's my pleasure to call the mayor up here. Do you know what, Mayor, just before I do that, I just realized that I didn't recognize some dignitaries that might be in the audience, might be on their way, but I'm going to call out their names. Representative Michelle Brownlee of the 195th Legislative District. Are you here? Not quite yet. Representative Ed Nielsen of the 169th Legislative District. Representative Jordan Harris of the 186th Legislative District. Karen Germankin from Congressman Allison Schwartz's office. There's Karen. Sandra Dungy Glenn, Office of the State Senator Vincent Hughes. Gisela Burnside and Carmen Sousa of the Officer of Senator Tartaglione's office. Imani Johnson from the United States Senator Toomey's office. And Carol, there you are. And Carol Abando Durstein of U.S. Senator Robert Casey's office. Thank you all. Okay. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the mayor. It is his vision and to revitalize and support this commission that has given us the kind of strength and the kind of inspiration that has translated into, things like myPLACE. And I'm thrilled to be able to thank him personally and professionally and introduce him. It's also my task to pin him with one of our pins. Where do you want this? There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. And Leslie, thank you seriously very, very much. Can we please give a big round of applause to our chair, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, Leslie Stiles, and all of our commissioners who are here with us. Cynthia, thank you for hosting us once again. We've had a number of big announcements here at Congresso, and I want to thank all the folks at Congresso, staff, all the things that you do, but also for allowing us from time to time to fairly completely disrupt your entire operations as we have these big announcements. We do a lot of these announcements here because we have a great partner in Congresso, and they do some really great things all across this city, not only serving this particular community, but many community members who need help, who need support, who need assistance in a wide variety of areas. And as they continue to grow and expand into the services that community needs, quite frankly, Congresso serves as a model for the kinds of things that we can, that we should, that we must do all across the city of Philadelphia. Please recognize Cynthia and her great staff here at Congresso. I want to thank the Councilwoman's office for the City Council citation. I was hoping, actually, in a very positive way, that unfortunately she was not going to be here because she has a City Council session going on right now and has to take care of business down there. I want to thank Chris Caro, Deputy Director from the Adult Education and Literacy, U.S. Department of Education. Thank you for coming here this morning, and your remarks were both enlightening, and Cynthia and I remarked that I picked up a new term. I want to let the crowd know that my remarks are not psychometrically designed, and they're just a couple thoughts and ideas that I have about this work. To all the elected officials whose offices are represented, thank you for the partnership and your commitment to this work. And there are a significant number of elected officials who have sent their reps and their staff to this event, which I think is indicative of its importance. Lastly, but she's first in my heart, certainly Dr. Judith Rainey. Judith, thank you so very much. You and your staff, the entire team. I love this, agenda or program. And one of the things that I want to mention to you that, from the start, Judith has been all over this issue. I knew that this was a quite critical aspect of government service for us, the issue of literacy, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy. We did revitalize it. We asked Leslie, and I think as many of you know, the late E. Stephen Collins, they co-chaired this commission, and I asked Judith to come into the government. I didn't know that we'd have ultimately a thing called myPLACE, but I'm glad we do. But it's the kind of thing that I was thinking about at that time, and one of the pieces that I want to direct your attention to in this program is when it talks about the commission has created the city's first formal adult education system for high quality and efficient learner intake, standardized assessment, and course enrollment. That's what I asked for. That's what she has given us. And I want to ask you to please, please give a huge round of applause to Judith and the entire Mayor's Commission on Literacy staff and commission members. So I have some prepared remarks, and they're rather extensive. I'm going to stray from those, which on the one hand makes my folks really, really nervous. On the other hand, it'd be great for you because actually I got a note, excuse me, some folks have actually learned another language in the course of this press conference. We've been here for a little while, so I want to cut my time down. Literacy is, in fact, freedom. Literacy is freedom. You can only truly enjoy, especially here in the city of Philadelphia, this birthplace of freedom, liberty, and democracy. When we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you can't experience any one of those, let alone all three of those, if you cannot read, if you cannot write, if you cannot communicate, if you cannot think critically, and take care of yourself. You will never truly experience life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words should ring in our ears each and every day, especially here in Philadelphia, as this is the place that gave birth to freedom in the United States of America. We've helped define it around the world. We may not be as old as many other countries on the planet, but still people come to this place, to this very unique place, this experiment that is still going on. They come to Philadelphia to see the Liberty Bell and what it symbolizes. They go to see Independence Hall to understand what it's about. And if people couldn't read or write or understand what we were talking about 236 plus years ago, who knows where we would be today? It's all the fundamentals of what this effort is all about. So having these three centers, and I want to thank certainly 1199C and Henry Nicholas and the entire group over there, having that center to serve South Philadelphia, 63rd Street out in West to serve West and Southwest, and of course right here in the heart of North Philadelphia and the Hispanic and Latino community, having this center here, and certainly, and I'll anticipate a request that's going to get made because I know Judith so well. She would never be satisfied with 3 centers across the city of Philadelphia. So I already know what I'm in for. And it looks like the number 6 is being flashed at me as I speak. So, you know, as I say, the reward for good work is more good work. And I'm very, very proud of this effort. We have some challenges here in the city. You know I love the city. You know it is the most magical and wonderful place. I'm born, raised, educated, created all my trouble here in Philadelphia. Never lived anywhere else and won't. But we do have some challenges. And so if we want a safer city, we need a more literate population. If we want to lower crime in Philadelphia, if we want to lower the unemployment rate, if we want to lower the poverty rate, if we want to increase educational attainment, if we want more jobs in the city of Philadelphia, then we have to drive a message every day that says Go to myPLACE. Go to one of our key spots. Stay in school. Go to school. Go back to school. And create opportunity that we can lead the region, the state, the nation, and the world when we educate our citizens. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. Someone else is going to say it somewhere, one day, sometime. Education must be considered a part of the national defense of the United States of America. That's where we're strong. That's how we win. We win on knowledge. We win on information. And so this is a great moment for us, funded by, of course, the Mayor's Commission on Literacy, and we'll continue to seek other funding opportunities. You may have heard some of my remarks just the other day at the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to keep talking about education. I'm going to keep talking about literacy. And of course, we have to turn those conversations into action. We need fair and full funding for all of our children here in Philadelphia and across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to educate them properly. We need to stop worrying so much about the politics of it and have the policy and the strength and the commitment and dedication to children and adults that they are educated. Stop worrying so much about holding on to your job and do your job so that other people can get a job. That's what we're supposed to do in public service. And so we're going to cut this ribbon. I see Jennifer Rodriguez is here for the Mayor's Commission on Multicultural Affairs and Immigrant Affairs. Jennifer, thank you for being here as well. We can do this work. You know, there are some things that are obviously like snow and rain and all of those elements way beyond my control. No matter what people say, no matter what's out on social media, I actually can't do anything about the weather. But we can do, Lisa, she's surprised, yes. But we can do something about literacy. We can do something about education. We can do something about the knowledge that people get to be able to take care of themselves. There's not a person out there who really wants to be on unemployment insurance. There's not a person out there who really wants to be caught up in all of the programs and all of the systems. People want to work. They want to take care of themselves. And in many instances, there but for the grace of God, would one of us be in the same situation. We've just been a little luckier than a few other people. That doesn't mean they get left behind. This is the United States of America. We would never treat anyone in this country that way. And so some of the policies that come out of the federal government, some that even come from our own state government, are incredibly wrong and moving us in the wrong direction. This effort today is our way of fighting back to say that people want those skills. These centers, I believe, will be filled, and we will have a need for more. Let us do the right thing by our children and by our adults here in this city and be a shining example of what the rest of the United States of America can truly do. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. In my exuberance and excitement about pinning the mayor, I skipped right over introducing Lorraine Ballard-Morrill, who is a renowned on-air personality in her own right and one of our commissioners, and I wanted her to introduce Mina Say What.
Thank you, Leslie, and I'll keep it short. One of the things that Chris said, which I think was very important, is about awareness. And so really the issue of awareness and what the impact is on our communities, on our families, on employment, on the security of this nation are critical. And we are committed at Clear Channel to make sure that that message is supported and carried out. But this time I would like to introduce my colleague and my very good friend, Power 99 FM's Mina Say What, who can speak very much from personal experience about the impact of literacy.
Hello, how are you doing? So I speak to this community every morning on Power 99. I know the issues that they deal with. I know the struggle that is out there. I was a little blown away by the statistics that I just heard about the literacy rates. I really don't think that we all know how much of a serious issue this is. In speaking to the community, I try to make sure that I send the right messages. I'm a Syracuse graduate. I try to say that on air all the time to promote that we need to go to school. We need to invest in our education. Our communities need to be more focused on our advancement. So I'm very happy to be here today speaking about this. I want to thank everyone, Congreso, the mayor, the commissioner, myPLACE, Lorraine, of course, for being involved in this. I grew up with a single mother, and my mother came from a different country, and I remember having to read her letters and having to respond to those letters and sign her name, and that's probably illegal, but I remember that, and there's a lot of, it's over? Okay. And I remember that, and I know people who struggle with the language, and it's so important that we pay attention to this. And it's not just for my Spanish-speaking people. I'm Peruvian, but it's for everyone. I have friends who didn't go and get a GED, and they're struggling. They can't get jobs. And the mayor speaks about freedom. One of the things that my mom taught me is education is freedom. So I try to instill that into our community, and I'm just happy that people have a center to go and work on their literacy and get tutors and further their education. I just want to say thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you again. And just some final messages. We have wonderful food and drink for you in the corridor out back, so please enjoy that. Any media that are here who would like to go across the street with Jen Coburn is going to just stand up here for a second. Gather around Jen in the lobby, and she will take you across the street for the tour of the myPLACE campus. And please enjoy your day very, very much, and thank you again.